Okay, well, it is fun for me to do these videos that have really high production quality, or as high as I can make it, that I spend a lot of time editing. It's easier for me to do just simple videos like this to explain some simpler things, like tool selection. I've gotten a lot of your emails, I've gotten a lot of your messages about tools here lately. So I'm gonna go over a few things that I think is important to remember. A lot of tool manufacturers out there right now are hype machines. Now, hype is good, and a lot of times it's well-deserved. In the case of something like Stanliner, I really believe that Stanliners are excellent tools. I believe in them, I stand by them. But then you have your old faithfuls. So what you may not know is a company called PDR Finesse. They've been hand-making tools for this industry forever, and they are all top quality, solid, great tools. What I'm gonna talk about today specifically is the Circus set from PDR Finesse. I feel that if you do not have the Circus set, this needs to be your next tool purchase. Okay, stepped into the office here. It's gonna be a little more comfortable for me to talk about this, talk about these rods. These are gonna be part of what I'm calling the step up set. Now, it's not your beginning PDR tool. It's not what you need to start learning how to do PDR, but you're gonna find those beginner tools, those very first tools you get, they're not gonna last you long. Within 2-3 months, you're gonna be ready to step up to some better tools, some more tools, and I would highly recommend that some of these be on the list. So, talking about the rod, the Circus rods are very sharp. Now, this is after years and years of use on mine. They come sharper than that even. The handles are extremely comfortable. They're so stiff. There's not a whole lot of flex in these. I use these for, man, I'm gonna say 70% of my repairs at one point or another. That little sharp tip is great for any kind of cleanup work, if you're doing it on a fender or quarter panel or whatever. And these are must-haves. Everybody that I've turned on to these tools has bought them and say the same exact thing, that they are tools that you cannot live without once you have them. Come in 5 different sizes, starting from the smallest here. So we've got this little guy, and I love whenever you're working in a door, not near the door handle, most of the time there's a little plastic plug or rubber plug on the inside of that door. This thing sneaks in real nicely back there and gets you all around that door handle. It's wonderful. The next size is gonna be this one. This is kind of, you know, getting into a little bit bigger, a little thicker to this one. All right, now this one is the 3rd size. Now this is a must-have no matter what industry you're trying to get into. In hail, retail, wholesale, whatever, I use this one the most. And one thing that you'll notice, no matter how many Stanliner tools I get or how many tools get sent to me, you will always find the Circus rods on my cart. They're a great value, and like I said earlier, PDR Finesse hand makes these things, man. I mean, there's something to be said for that. You're always gonna find Circus rods on my cart. I can't get rid of them. I haven't found anything remotely close to even considering to replace them with. So this one, this is the 2nd to the largest. Now, I'll look up the sizes and maybe I'll put some cute little words down here. Man, I hope that works. Maybe see, like down here, right there. See, I hope I did that thing just now in the editing where I like made some words pop up. That'd be super cool, right? Anyways, this one's a great hail rod. Like, for real, when you're working side to side on a regular sedan or a car, this thing's awesome, man. And the thing about sharp tips is, unskilled PDR technicians, one in particular, they like to talk all kinds of nonsense about sharp tips. Well, slow down when you use a sharp tip. Don't push real hard, be accurate. And man, they're great. Now, if you're working on larger damage too, these sharp tips are excellent for cold shrinking. I actually have a cold shrinking video out that shows exactly how I did it with this rod. I mean, huge dents, keep it from oil canning. You don't need, you know, a power PDR box or whatever. And those are good tools, but a lot of times you can prevent it with a tip like this that comes on the Circus rod. The very last one is this big mamma jamma. Now this is also hail rod material. I mean, this thing is a beast. It's so big that I don't put it on my cart. I usually have it leaning in the corner somewhere. And I use this one probably the least, but if I did more hail still, I would probably be reaching for this one a lot. And as you can see, That one's tip is actually a little sharper than the other ones because like I said, I've used the other one so much, it's kind of worn them down a bit. So which ones are right for you? Well, I believe, and I'll verify this, I believe the whole set is 380 bucks. And let me tell you, that is a screaming deal with the value and the amount of use that you're gonna get out of these tools. If that's a little too much for you, that's understandable. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna tell you exactly which ones that I recommend that you buy. First of all, this very middle one, like I said earlier, I use this thing all the time. Fender tool, it's a great fender tool. When you're working hail on a hood, it's wonderful for that. Everything about this one is great. I really believe that you should have it. Second most popular one that I use the most often is the second to largest one. Now you can sneak this through a taillight all the way up into a quarter panel and use it as a twister too, because as you see, it's got a nice little kick on it. And I do that fairly often. And like I said, it serves double purpose as a hail rod. So it's like getting two tools in one, and those two are my must-haves. Now, depending on what your goals are, if you want to be a hail guy, if you want to be a retail guy, wholesale, you need to understand that your tool selection is going to be a bit different. In hail, you're going to be much more of a minimalist. You don't want cluttered tools everywhere because that's going to mess with your efficiency. So what you're looking for is the right tools for the right job. And I'm telling you right now, this big one, if you want to be a hail guy and you're on a budget, this is a great place to start. I don't think that I would recommend this one if you're getting into a retail shop though. So if you want to practice some hail and you want to practice with some sharp tips, definitely grab this big one. Now, if you're going the other way with it and you'd like to be a retail tech, now in retail, that's what I do now, and that's why I have so many tools. I always want to have the right tool for the job. I don't want to have a tool that I'm trying to make work, because that works against you in a lot of different ways. First, direct leverage, perfect pressure is going to result in a more perfect repair. Secondly, if I can be comfortable while I'm working on a dent, I'm going to stick with that dent longer. So that is where the separation between a good tech and a great tech comes. A great tech is going to stick with it that last 20-30% and perfect that dent. It's a lot easier to do when your body doesn't hurt. So that's why you have so many tools in retail, and that's why I recommend that. But these two, in a retail environment, I would go ahead and pick up. I'm not sure that they're super duper useful. This little guy is great on hoods in hail, but there's other tools out there that do it better. But I would definitely pick up these two if retail is your goal. So that's just a little bit about the circus rods. I'm sure I'll have some fancy ass pictures for you guys to look at. Hopefully can make this video a little more interesting for you. But the circus rods, PDR Finesse, it's a wonderful company. You got to keep in mind that I was talking about hype machines earlier, and hype can be good if it's created by the techs. If techs are posting reviews and it's like, oh my God, this is the most amazing tool in the world, listen to that. But if it's created by the company itself, it's the next best thing. If you've been around this industry long enough, you have seen tools that were game changers come and go because it's just hype. So PDR Finesse has none of that. It's been slow growth. They've been your old standby, and you really should pay more attention to them. For me personally, if I'm looking for a new tool, I'm fortunate enough these days that a lot of tools get sent to me to try. But if I'm going to be purchasing a new tool, 9 times out of 10, I'm stopping by PDR Finesse's website first. So those are my 2 cents. Keep an eye out. We've got more of these coming. We have another industry face. It's a name that you're going to recognize. Is going to be joining up with us to help us with some of this, take some of the load off. And keep an eye out. Can't wait to see you. See you in the next one. Bye.